on the third day of Christmas. Welcome back, everybody. We are so excited that you are here today for another edition of the 12 Days of Holiday Baking. This year we decided to do something a little bit different, and we are going to be doing the 12 Days of Holiday Baking with Crystal. If you're new around here, I'm Crystal. I'm one half of For the Love of the Mouse, and I love baking. And in fact, every holiday I always do a great baking day. Actually, it's turned into a baking weekend where I bake a ton of goodies and we deliver them to our friends and our family. We take them to work and we take them to the first responders around us. It's become such an amazing tradition, and I thought it would be really fun if we shared some of our favorite baking recipes for the holidays with you. If you're new around here, be sure to click that subscribe button because we have so many fun vlogs coming your way, including the remainder of the 12 Days of Christmas Baking, as well as weekly vlogs. We do Disney vlogs and so many other fun vlogs. Be sure to click that like button if you like what we're doing and you like holiday baking, and that bell notification so that you can be notified every time we release a video. Today is going to be something a little bit different. These are going to be orange poppy seed ricotta cookies. Ricotta is a soft cheese. It's a really mild cheese. I love it on calzones and pizza, but did you know that it could be used in baking? It makes an incredible cookie that turns out really moist and soft and fluffy, kind of cake-like. This is one of my grandma's recipes, and I'm not going to lie, I've only made this recipe a couple of times, so we're going to figure this one out together. Since it is one of my grandma's recipes, we have to, of course, bring out the apron. This was my grandmother's apron. All through growing up, she was always wearing this apron every time she cooked or baked. All the holidays were always spent with my grandparents. My grandma cooked a huge spread, and we always did a really fun cookie day the entire time that I was growing up. And that is just one of my fondest memories. I would love to know what some of your fondest memories with your family growing up, or even now, are for the holidays. Now that we've got our apron on, we better get baking. The first thing we're going to do for this recipe is we're going to sift together our flour, baking powder, salt, and then we're going to combine it into this bowl with our poppy seeds. So we're going to need a teaspoon of baking powder, which I already have in there. We're then going to add half a teaspoon of salt and 2.5 cups of flour. Now, if you are not new to our 12 Days of Holiday Baking with For Love of the Mouse, you might not know what a fan I am of sifting your dry ingredient. My grandma always did it growing up. I always do it now. I just think it makes such a better baked good. I'm not really sure why we don't sift anymore, but I definitely think it creates a much better cookie, and it only takes a minute or so. So we've got those ingredients in here. We're going to sift them into the bowl. This sifter is actually my great-grandmother's. When my grandma passed away, it was one of the things that I really wanted to remember her by and to remember those amazing memories growing up. So I have her sifter. I also have her recipe boxes. She had 3 recipe boxes, and those were really important to me. And I also have her measuring cup that you'll see in a minute. All right, so we have all of our ingredients sifted in. Shake those last few little bits in there. If you have any chunks, that's what we sifted for, so we're gonna wanna dispose of those. So just set it aside. Now we have our sifted dry ingredients. We're gonna go in with our poppy seeds. You can find poppy seeds in any spice aisle at the grocery store. We're going to use about 3 tablespoons of poppy seeds. If you're not a huge fan of poppy seeds or you don't know, you can omit them from the recipe, but I love poppy seeds. Lemon poppy seed muffins were always my favorite growing up. All right, so now we have our dry ingredients. It's time to move on. As you just saw, I took 1.5 cups of granulated sugar and combined it with the zest of an 1.5 oranges. And then I used my spoon to kind of macerate that orange into the sugar. That really scents the sugar so that the sugar really takes on that orange aroma and flavor, and it gives it a much more pungent orange flavor in the cookies. So right now we're going to add this sugar to our mixing bowl with our butter. All right, so we have our butter and our sugar and orange zest all mixed up and fluffy. We're gonna go ahead and add some more ingredients. You wanna add your eggs one at a time and make sure that each one gets incorporated before you add the next. I also really prefer to use room temperature eggs. In fact, when I'm cooking or baking, I really like to use room temperature items. We're gonna go ahead and scrape the bottom of the bowl and give it another mix before we add some more things. So we have all of our wet ingredients incorporated. So there's about 15 ounces of ricotta cheese in here. You wanna make sure that's really mixed up and incorporated and smooth before we add our dry ingredients, which is the next step. So we're going to turn this on at a low speed and add this dry ingredients about a cup at a time. You want to keep that mixing until it's just incorporated. You do not want to overmix this batter. So now it's perfect. I'm going to show you what it looks like and we're going to get it onto the cookie sheets. So this is the dough. As you can see, it's pretty sticky, but it should form pretty nicely onto the cookie sheet. Our cookies on our baking sheets. I filled 2 of these. We're going to put them in a 350-degree oven for about 20 minutes. I'm going to check them at 15, but they could go to about 20. You want them to be brown on the edges, but not hard and not brown all the way through. So while the cookies bake, we're going to whip up a really simple glaze that's going to go on the top. So you want to take about 2 cups of powdered sugar, and then we're going to take, you want about 3 to 4 tablespoons of juice. We're going to start with the juice from this half, and then we'll stir it, see the consistency, and then if we need to, we can add more. You want this consistency to be pourable, but not super loose. It might take a minute to incorporate all of the juice into the sugar, but be patient with it. This is going to be perfect. I actually might add just a tad more. So as you can see, it's pretty pourable. Actually, I think this is going to be perfect. So we're going to start with this. After the cookies come out of the oven, we are going to let them cool for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to top them with the glaze, and then we'll let it completely harden before we serve them. All right, I pulled the cookies out of the oven. They look great. They have been cooling for about 5 minutes. So we're going to take our glaze that we made a little bit ago and a large spoon, and we're just going to spoon it over the top. Then we're going to let it sit for just a few minutes so that it can harden a little bit. On the 3rd day of holiday baking with For Love of the Mouse, we made orange poppy seed ricotta cookies. These are really delicious. They're super unique. If you've never made ricotta cookies, I certainly recommend you give it a shot, and this recipe is amazing. I love the poppy seeds in there, the little flecks of poppy seed throughout each cookie, and the glaze just gives it a little something extra. Be sure that you stick around because we have so many more cookie recipes coming for you during our 12 days of holiday baking. If you're new around here, be sure that you click that subscribe button, click that like button if you like what we're doing, and that bell notification so that you can be notified every time we release a video. Also, if you're interested in these ears, we have these and other fun holiday designs over on our Etsy shop. We will link that down below. Happy holidays, everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by. For the love of the mouse, never forget that it all started with a mouse.